Hello, I'm David Harper with the BBC News. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said his forces are continuing their counter-offensive, which he says has already liberated nearly 6,000 square kilometres of territory. In many places, Russian forces appear to have turned and fled, though Moscow insists it has been a pre-planned regrouping. Our international editor Jeremy Bowen has this assessment.
The Ukrainians believe they've answered important questions. Can they break the stalemate and recapture territory? Yes. Can they use Western weapons effectively? Yes. The result is their most important victory since winning the battle for Kyiv back in March. This matters because without proof they can win, they fear that the economic costs of supporting Ukraine and opposing Russia might be too much for some of their NATO allies, especially over a long, hard winter. As for the Russians, this was a rout, not a fighting retreat or a redeployment. Military intelligence failed, and soldiers with catastrophically poor morale abandoned large amounts of equipment.
Members of the public in Edinburgh are filing past the coffin of Queen Elizabeth, who is lying at rest in the 12th century St Giles Cathedral in the heart of the Scottish capital. In long, snaking queues, thousands have continued paying their respects. These people were among them.
I've come up from Yorkshire and Ryan's come from...
Yeah, I'm a student in Edinburgh, but originally from Ireland.
I was just compelled. Just want to pay my respects.
So we queued for 8.5 hours. We went in and went past the coffin, and it was very emotional and it was very quiet.
I've been told it will be 12 hours, but I don't know if I'm going to last 12 hours. We'll see how long we last.
Civil liberties groups in Britain say they're deeply concerned that several anti-monarchy protesters have been arrested at events marking the royal transition. There have been at least 4 such arrests, though all have been subsequently released. One woman must appear in court. The UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in Afghanistan has warned that women and girls have faced staggering repression since the Taliban seized power last year. Richard Bennett warned of a descent into authoritarianism. Ambarasan Etirajan reports.
Richard Bennett made the comments after submitting his first report on the overall situation in Afghanistan at a Human Rights Council meeting in Geneva. He also said Hazara and other minority groups in the country had been facing arbitrary arrests, torture and summary execution. Several Afghan women activists urged the 47-member council to set up a mechanism to investigate abuses. One speaker described a gender apartheid in the country. Most girls' secondary schools in Afghanistan have been shut since the Taliban took over in August 2021.
World News from the BBC. Hostilities have again flared up between Armenia and Azerbaijan in the Caucasus. Each have accused the other of shelling or firing at border positions. The Azeris say mortar fire has caused losses on their side, but they've not given details. Reports of shootouts have been common since the end of a brief war in 2020 over Nagorno-Karabakh. Burkina Faso's military ruler, Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, has sacked his defence minister. In 2 decrees read out on national television, the junta chief said he was dismissing General Barthélemy Symphoré and assuming the role himself. No reason was given. Colonel Damiba seized power last January, accusing the previous government of failing to tackle an Islamist insurgency. Lawyers for Donald Trump have asked a judge to block the US Justice Department's request to resume examination of documents seized by the FBI at his Florida estate last month. The former president is under investigation for retaining government records, some of which were marked as classified or secret. The great and the good of the world of television have gathered in Los Angeles for the Emmy Awards ceremony. Scaled back for the past 2 years because of the pandemic, the evening is back in full. Some pre- and post-show festivities have been curtailed as a mark of respect for the late British monarch Elizabeth, as Peter Bowes reports.
The British Film and Television Academy cancelled its traditional Hollywood tea party for Emmy nominees, saying it was deeply saddened by the death of Queen Elizabeth. Last year's big winner, The Crown, which is currently in between series, is not in contention. The favourites include Succession, the drama about a ruthless media family, and Squid Game, Netflix's hugely successful series from South Korea. It's the first non-English language programme to compete in the category for Best Drama. The Anglo-American football series Ted Lasso is the most nominated comedy.
Peter Bowes reporting. And that's the latest BBC News.